that it's fluid, that it's in the present. This is appropriate now. And when you understand the principles of what we're doing, what we're talking about, then you have the tools to shift and change your rhythm as it benefits you most. Because as you said, what works today may not be the right thing for tomorrow or next week.
Welcome to We Ain't Normal. My name is Charmaine Fuller, and I'm an everyday mom sharing how I navigate my ADHD brain. Each week, we share tools, inspiration, and resources to help you uncover how to reclaim your time, energy, and focus. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Now on to our show. Are you looking to shut down some of the open tabs in your head? If you're a professional mom with ADHD like me, girl, I feel you. And this is why I created the Simplify My Life newsletter. The Simplify My Life newsletter shares real life tips, resources, and support to help you shut down the noise and navigate your ADHD life. Trust me, this is the one email you'll be looking forward to opening in your inbox. Join today at the link in the show notes below, and I'll see you there. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Ain't Normal show. Today, we have Lois Perez with us. As you know, on this show, we go over all the life areas, not just mindset, not just one area, because everything is connected. Lois, share a little bit about who you are, how you serve the world before we get down to the get downs about Feng Shui, girl.
Well, thank you so much for having me join the show. We Ain't Normal, and that's who I am. I just love it. I fit right in because I am not your mama's Feng Shui practitioner.
Amen.
I, I call myself Queen of the Shui because my mission is to share the Shui with everyone. Everyone deserves to find out how to be themselves on purpose and how you can have your home, office, car, wherever you may be, support you in being that. And I found that Feng Shui changed my life so dramatically in the part of me being me. I never expected to find out who I truly was. I was expecting I'd find out where to put my sofa, what colors to paint the rooms. Now that's important foundation. However, if you don't know who you are, all the feng shui in the world isn't going to be sustainable because you will be approaching it from who you think you're supposed to be or who you think you have to be rather than who am I? What drives me? And what I've found also is how much feng shui is connected to psychology, to
Wow.
who we are without even noticing. If I know lots of you do vision boards, right? And
Yes.
you think about it, you do your vision board and you put it there, and how often do you see it? Well, there is a connection between what you put there, whether you see it or not. But imagine that your home is a living vision board. Everything you place in your home, everything that is there, is having a conversation with your subconscious day after day, time after time. And whatever that connection may be will continue to imprint.
Okay, wait. That part right there that you're about to jump over is so deep.
Yes.
That part right there where your home is your vision board, and how, because you create what you see, and if what you see is chaos and things not in order, there's no way you're going to just magically create the order that you seek.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between a memory or if it's actually happening. And the imprints you're creating in your home go further than just when you're home. Before you even get home, the experience you will have, your body, all the parts in your subconscious, they get ready. They'll say, well, hey, she's almost home. What happens when she gets out of the car and goes up those steps? Oh, that door. It's hard. Oh, it sticks. Well, why wait? Give it to her now. Because our bodies, mind and souls, they don't know what is good for us. They just know what we ask for. So what you continue to imprint, even when you say, I'm not going to notice it. I won't pay attention. Not too crazy about that, but I'll just ignore it. It doesn't go away. It speaks even louder than you can imagine. And then you attribute those feelings, those actions to something else that is completely unrelated.
I think you've already debunked the myth of what feng shui is and what it isn't. Basically, when you said it's not just about furniture placement, yes, furniture placement is a piece. And that's so important that you said that, because, again, everything about this podcast is not just about pieces, but the whole, and how it interacts and how it aligns with the whole of what you're doing. That is definitely not your mama's feng shui, which is just about, I'm sure you've Googled feng shui. And when you Google it, what you get is what color your bathroom should be, the placement of certain rooms, what degrees or, what direction certain things should be placed in. But never, from the way and from what we've talked about even before this, it's really about feeling. It's not just about what the book says, because those are guidelines, but about feeling as well.
Absolutely. And depending on where you are in your life, depending on who you happen to be, depending on where you want to transform yourself, where you find, I'm looking for something better. I'm searching, I'm seeking. You have to know who you are and go the way that suits you. Because when we try to be that square peg in a round hole, when I forced myself to get up early and be that smiling 6 a.m. chirpy chirp, when I had the choice of how to schedule my life, I realized I'm not that chirpy chirp early morning girl. I can choose when it's in my power, when it's in the realm of practicality, to schedule my way more in alignment with my body clock. And when it's important to be a chirpy girl at 6 a.m., I can do it. But I don't have to feel tied to it against my nature day after day after day after day.
I got a download the other day, and it's called the 7 a.m. Millionaire. Not at a million yet, but I'm like, there's like no way that you have, because if you read all the memes and all the little stuff, it's like, well, in order to make it big or to do big things, you should be waking up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. And I did that for a long time, and it was miserable. It was really miserable. And now I wake up at 7. I feel like I have more time than I did when I woke up at 4, and things are just flowing a lot more smoothly than the force that I was giving to these 4:35 a.m. wake ups.
Right. And what's interesting, the people who are writing these books and giving these seminars and touting these success stories are people who are naturally these early chirpies. That is in their nature. That is who they are. They are living themselves on purpose. Now, I have the element of water in me. Water is floaty, it's dreamy, it's winter and
Yes.
midnight. Do you think I want to be up at 4 and 5 o'clock to get started?
Hell no.
And now I don't have to apologize to myself for feeling that, oh, I must be lazy or I'm not cutting it. But we all have our own way. And Feng Shui also taught me how to be myself on purpose by understanding what it is in my nature that drives me. And when I connect with that, I am unstoppable. I can be on fire. I can get whatever it is I want. But when I think I'm supposed to be something I'm not, because I see how successful the person who is, everything kind of comes to a halt.
Yeah.
Or it's not sustainable.
It becomes like you're trudging in quicksand, like
Yes.
literally.
Yes.
So for people who might be like, okay, well, feng shui, we've already debunked for them that it's just about furniture placement. What are some of the basic principles? Like at the baseline, like what would people need to know about feng shui in order to get started in incorporating it into their lives?
Well, the first thing is notice how you feel. So I have my tips of my fabulous firsts. If you start out with every first you create should be fabulous.
Oh.
What is the experience you have when you wake up in the morning? You open your eyes. Where do your eyes go? What do they see? How are you feeling? That should be a fabulous feeling. And if you open your eyes and they happen to gaze upon a pile of laundry that hasn't been folded, or possibly you have a desk in your room and there's a desk with papers and tasks that need to be done, you're exhausted before you begin. And very rarely will I recommend someone have a Peloton in their bedroom, because you wake up and see that Peloton, and unless that is going to get you out of bed and give you juice, it's only going to make you exhausted. There are very few people I know that will thrive having exercise equipment that they see the first thing when they wake up. I know for me, I'd just go back to bed.
Oh my
However,
God, it was exhausting. Yeah, we used to have a elliptical, and that's why you start throwing shit on it. It's like, maybe if I cover it up.
mhm, yep, yep. Absolutely. However, there are always the exceptions to the rules. There
Right.
are people that thrive on that type of energy. So think about when you open your eyes, the first things you see, how do you feel? And this is where you don't skimp. Get the most luxurious sheets and mattress and bedding, because you're spending this time in your bed to get nurtured.
Mm,
And your bed to have your central nervous system be calm. When your bed has a position where you have a view of the door peripherally to the side, tip, we typically don't suggest have the door right in front of you because it may feel like there's a lot of energy. In that case, you can close the door. But when you have a view of where the door is, your central nervous system will calm down and say, okay, I can see who's coming. If your back is to a door, if you're sleeping with your head with the door behind you, even though you may know the alarm is on, the doors are locked, nobody's here, there's still that sense of, is somebody coming in behind me? I
mm.
really don't know. And that comes to the second tip: always be in command. Whenever possible, when you place your desk, when you're sitting, if you're in a room, have a view of the door. It can be, to the left or the right side of you. It can be peripheral. If you're sitting with your back to a door, again, your central nervous system is a little bit distracted. It's kind of on alert. Is somebody coming? Is somebody coming? And the next part of this is the metaphor. If my back is to the door, I'm turning my back on opportunities.
Ooh.
I'm turning my back. I'm saying, don't bother me. I'm not interested. And I think back to when I worked in corporate environment in the fashion industry. And fortunately, I had an office where I had my back to the wall and I could see the door. But the colleagues of mine who had cubicles, and the computers were placed in a way that people had their backs to the opening of the cubicle, you would stand there and you'd be, should I interrupt them? Maybe they're busy. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back later. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. So it's giving a message of, don't bother me. I'm
Got it.
busy,
I'm
and
unavailable.
I'm unavailable. And it could have been, hey, you could have been the one to get that project that would have put your name on a door, but you weren't available. Sorry.
Wow, that is those two things right there. And that's a message that one has been preached all this season and last season. I don't want to say preached, that doesn't, but has been shared, I should say, all last season and this season, as well as my sharing is that whole clarity piece. People want to skip over that clarity piece because it ain't sexy. But by God, that is what you need to start off with, is that clarity piece. And then they think they're clear, but you're really not, like, you're not clear all the time because life shifts.
Yes.
And so what worked for you last month, hell, yesterday, could shift based on what happened either during that day or the day before. And you just always, I feel like that's a part of living, is that you always need to be in this space of continuous growth. And not saying that you haven't gotten it right or that you're, because life is this journey. You don't have this, the completion date is when you die. But as
Yes.
long as you're living, you are continuously learning, growing, evolving.
Excellent. Excellent point. Because for me, I found out Feng Shui is fluid. And a
Mm.
very interesting comment: when I was doing my first year certification, we had to submit case studies. We had to do 10 case studies, combine residential, people we knew, people, strangers that we didn't know, office, business. And I remember I did my boss's office, and she happened to be Chinese. And after I did her office, she said to me, wow, I was always a little bit, concerned about having someone do some feng shui for me, because I thought once I did it, that was it. I had to keep it. And
Wow.
she had no idea that it's fluid, that it's in the present. This is appropriate now. And when you understand the principles of what we're doing, what we're talking about, then you have the tools to shift and change your rhythm as it benefits you most. Because as you said, what works today may not be the right thing for tomorrow or next week. And
Right.
it's important to know what it is that you're doing and why. And I always give the reasons, the information when I work with someone one-on-one, because if they don't understand the purpose, it's not sustainable. I am not a Chinese man living in China 3,000 years ago, coming in with my incense and robes and all reverent. That was a cultural connection to some very fabulous principles. But we have to be practical where we are today and how
Yes.
we're living. And the most important thing is connecting to who you are, where you are, and how is what's happening around you. Is it supporting you? Is it holding you back? Is it dragging you down? Is it giving you the oomph? Or is it distracting you so you're not even focused on what's important for the time?
Exactly. Yep. 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 And yep. I think we get so intertwined into the completion of a thing. Um, I know I've gotten caught up in the completion of a thing a lot. And when you realize that nothing is ever really completed,
Right?
it first you're like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Because this entire society is built upon getting to the next milestone, completion, 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 and never really embracing, enjoying, or being present in the journey. And so then your life feels like you're continuously working towards something versus just being in a thing.
Yes.
And it feels like feng shui gives you that, because even if I rearrange, like, and I've done this, I don't know about you, the way my office is right now works right now. And maybe 3 to 6 months, I'll get this inkling inside of me that goes, the desk needs to be over here. You need to move the chair. Let's change the colors. Like right now, I'm about to change the colors of my office. It's like, okay, this has worked. Now I want something lighter and brighter. And it just kind of, that's just what it is to me, I think. That's what it feels like you're saying.
Yes. And what's important to understand is different people, based on who we are, our archetype, will have a different way of living, where some people may get it all done and get comfy, cozy in, and they settle. And this is what they
Right.
want. They've made it. This is their nest, their nook, and they're very happy to stay there. Where others are always seeking and searching for the next level, the next round. Okay, I've been here, done this. I'm ready for something else. And that is really a testament to being connected with who you are and nature. We have cycles in nature. And especially those of us who live in an area where we have different seasons, you can really see the difference in the defining of the four seasons. Well, we go through different cycles in our archetype as well. We go through different cycles, 9-year cycles. The first year
Yeah.
is a more planning, quiet year, moving all the way up to our peak. Now, we have these annual cycles, but when we microcosm it down, we have the monthly, weekly. So understanding the rhythm of what we are attuning with is really powerful. And the beauty of the feng shui of your soul, which, as I like to call, a feng shui, not only your space, but your soul. We are more than our birth dates. How can someone born on the same day, same year, be so different? The
Right.
answer is it's in your physicality. In feng shui, we not only look at your natal chart, we look at your face, your hair, your body type, how you express yourself. What are you wearing? How are you showing up? That has just as much impact as the numbers. And to be complete, you are everything. You are not just one piece of a puzzle. You are the entire puzzle. And it's important to look at all the pieces and how they all fit and work together to get the right information, to get that powerful way of being.
Yeah, it's it always makes me chuckle when someone says, I have my birth chart. And it's like, well, there's your birth chart, and then there's your progressive chart. Then, there's, your numbers, your life. Like, there's so many different things that encompass who you are. You can't just use one thing. And they're meant as guides.
Yes.
Not as like, this is just who I have to show up as, and this is who I have to be, and that's it. They're just meant as guidelines to help guide you along the way. I truly believe that all of these forms of energy are meant to help guide us, and that we're not supposed to take one or the other too seriously, that you have to be able to connect to spirit.
Yes.
And know which one, because like intuitively, which one you should be going toward or going after next. It's just that I know for me, at times I wasn't still enough to listen to spirit. And so having that space to connect.
Absolutely. And I look at all of these systems as potentials. They give you, they highlight certain areas where you have a lot of potential. And you always have the choice to take it or leave it, to go here or go there. We talk about fate and destiny. We're given fate, and that may be the path, that's the potential, but what we choose to do, the road we choose to take, how we choose to manage our life, that is what we create. And we do have a lot to say about what how our life is going.
Yes, we are co-creators of our life. And to take that away from yourself is basically, to me, giving into victimhood and just saying, well, we have so much more command over our lives than society would lead us to believe, and even than that we would even like to believe sometimes, because it feels like pressure, but really it's exciting. To me, it's exciting. It's like, well, okay, well, if I can change this, like, what else can I change? To me, it's exciting, but I know to some people it might feel overwhelming, or something like that. So that first piece is notice how you want to feel. What experiences are you having when you wake up? Basically, what experiences are you having as you move throughout your day, your office, etc. Really focusing on that. And then always being in command, setting your space up and setting yourself up for not just opportunities, but to feel, safe, and to feel just ready. Yep. And like you said, having your back to the door, you can't feel ready, because it's almost, I don't know if you notice, when you have your back to the door, you kind of cower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're just not sure. Are you protecting yourself? You may go into a protective stance. Like, if you think of an animal that would, put their shell up because they don't know who's coming up behind them.
Right.
It's very much down to basics. When you have a view of the door, you sit up straight. You're ready. You're ready for people to find you, to see you. You want to be present. That's the most important thing, to be present and to put yourself in places where you're supported, so you're not distracted by, what is this? Is somebody coming? You want to be able to focus on what's important. And, I think back to the little things that can really take your day and throw it out the window. Have you ever had a pair of pants that the button broke and you felt like the side zipper kept inching down all day, even though nobody could see it? It wrecked the whole day. All I could think about is are my pants going to fall off? Oh, that zipper's falling down. Now I'm pinched. The entire day, one little thing is throwing me off. Well, imagine there's something in your space that's like a button that fell off, and you've decided, I'm not going to pay attention to it.
But you are paying attention to it.
Because a part of you is going, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Oh, here it is. And you're setting yourself up for a conversation you don't even know that you're having.
Oh my gosh. And and as you say that, it's so funny. The first thing that came to my mind was money. Before I really became aware and present with my finances, that's how it was. It was like, well, okay, I'm just going to ignore these bills right here and I'm going to keep living. But you never really ignore the bills because it's always like it's there. Like, you know, this is past due. You know, they're going to call you again. Right. And so you never really enjoy things, even though you try to act like you're enjoying things, because that little nick is just in the back of your mind, just like tapping at you going, hey, you know, I'm here.
Yep.
You do know I'm here, right?
Yes. And it's going to be tugging on your hair, the back of your head. It's going to be
Yes.
walking up the back of your spine.
Yes, yes, and yes. Oh my gosh, Lois, where can I would say give them internet resources, but you and I both know giving internet resources for feng shui can be a rabbit hole of disaster. Share your website with us because you have some fabulous resources and interviews and things on your website directly, and even on some of your social pages that people can begin to get familiar. I love how you share feng shui because how I learned it and how many people learned it, it's overwhelming. You're like, I got to get a compass. I've got to repaint everything. Like, it gives you anxiety thinking about the old way of feng shui. And I would really love for women to start with you because the way you teach, and I'm so happy we connected, is just flowy and in alignment, and it feels empowering because you're really saying, like in old feng shui, it isn't I get to choose. In old feng shui is like everything else gets to dictate the direction of things, the color of things actually dictate and not you. It kind of takes the power away. Share your website and your socials with everybody.
Okay. So my website is my name, loiskramerperez.com. LoisKramerperez.com. And my Instagram is Mambo Feng Shui Lois.
Ooh.
And I chose Mambo Feng Shui because I love the Mambo and I love Feng Shui. So why not put the two together?
Why not?
And on my website are all my connections to my social media. And I have lots of fun articles about different topics of feng shui.
Yes.
I even have classes that I teach that are on demand. So they can even see if you want to get an overview of basic feng shui. I have some really fun videos that I've taught that are available on demand, and even the feng shui for your soul. Understanding your 5 element. Then how about your face reading archetype? How about reading people's faces and getting to understand them? And then some fashion feng shui. Hey, I need to have a little more fire today. What should I wear? Or maybe it's a day of, getting more into meditation or floating. How else would I show up? But everything I do is fun because if it ain't fun, it ain't happening.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Feeling is definitely everything. Lois, this went way too fast, but it has definitely been a pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing this because, like I said, ladies, go to her website. Do not Google feng shui. Just go to loiskramerperez.com and start from there, because if you Google, it will give you anxiety because it will, trust me. Go to loiskramerperez.com, start your journey there. I love how you teach this. It's just so empowering to anyone who wants to learn, and it feels inviting. Old feng shui teaching methods do not feel inviting at all. So thank you so much for this today, Lois.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love sharing the shui.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, review so another mama friend can get her shui on and begin to create spaces in a life that she absolutely adores. Lois, thank you again. Ladies, remember, until the next time, stay weird. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it freed you to see your life a bit differently. Make sure to check out those show notes in the description for a full rundown of today's episode with all the important links and resources. If you want weekly exclusive episodes with me personally, make sure to sign up for my Simplify My Life newsletter. I'd love to know what you enjoyed about this episode, so leave a review to let me know how I can continue to support you. So Mama, I want you to know you're doing much better than you think. You're further than you believe, and you're worthy to have it all. So until next time, Stay weird and keep doing you, babe. Coming up next time on the We Ain't Normal show.
What we want to do is start tracking. It's like, oh, okay, this item is making me feel safe, like my needs are met in the future. How do I make sure that I feel safe and like my needs are met in the future without this wooden spoon or without this? That's the beauty of what this activated clutter is offering us. It's this deeper healing that says, there's a way to create sustainable like strength within ourselves without needing the clutter to do it for us.
Want more of this episode? Make sure your podcast notifications are on and you're a part of the We Ain't Normal family by going to thecharmedlife.show to get weekly podcast updates and notifications. I'll see you there.